So it's 2025 and you've decided to sit down and watch all the Star Wars movies for the first time ever. Never seen them before. You open up Disney Plus, you go to the Star Wars sections, and there they are, all the live action Star Wars movies. But what order are you going to watch them in? That is the question. Well, in this video, we're going to be looking at the 3 ways that you can watch the Star Wars films and the pros and cons of each one. But before we go ahead, I am so jealous of you. If this is the first time that you have ever watched Star Wars, I would give anything to be able to experience watching Star Wars again without any knowledge of what it is. Anything. Maybe even my children. No. Not the younglings. Younglings! You're about to embark on an adventure in a galaxy far, far away, and I am certain that you are going to love it.
Deeply love you.
So what are the movies that we're talking about? We are going to be concentrating on the live action Star Wars movies. So we're not going to be talking about the Clone Wars animated movie. No, we're going to be focusing on the live action films. Now, there are 11 of them, 9 of which are part of what is called the Skywalker Saga, and 2 of them are Star Wars stories. So in the Skywalker Saga, there are 9 films that are split up into 3 trilogies. We've got the original films, which are A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. We then have the prequel trilogy, which is The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And then we've got the sequels, which are Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. Now, the 2 other films that we have are Star Wars stories. Those are Solo and Rogue One. So stick around to the end to find out which watch order I think is the best. Leave a comment below to let me know what you think it is. And, give this video a like.
I will give this video a like.
So simply put, this is watching the movies in the order that they were released into the cinemas. So you'll start with 1977's Star Wars. So you're going to watch A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. You're then going to watch the prequels, so The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And then it's going to get a little bit different here because we've got the sequels, but we've also got those 2 Star Wars stories. So you'll watch The Force Awakens, followed by Rogue One, then The Last Jedi, followed by Solo, and you'll finish it off with The Rise of Skywalker. Now, watching it in this order is the original experience that older fans like myself had. You'll experience the evolution of the effects, the filmmaking, the storytelling, and it kind of gives you a little bit more of a historical appreciation of Star Wars. On the other hand, the time jumps going from the original trilogy to the prequels to then the sequels can be a wee bit jarring, and definitely the older movies can feel a little bit more dated than the newer films. That being said, if you are looking for the purest experience of Star Wars, this is it. You don't get any more pure than this. This is the Star Wars equivalent of a coffee snob only ever drinking black coffee, and I am one of those snobs, like coffee snob, like give me a black coffee. If you had a look at that release order of films, you'll notice something straight away because they are numbered 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Well, let's make it make sense and let's watch them in chronological order, the order that happens within the Star Wars films. So you are going to start off with the prequels. So we're going to watch Solo, and then we're going to watch Rogue One, which then leads directly into A New Hope and the rest of the original trilogy. And then you'll finish it off with the sequel trilogy. Now, watching it in this order can make the whole saga a lot easier to follow. There's no jumping back and forth. However, certain plot points of the film are completely spoiled if you watch it in this way. And if you start with the prequels, let's be honest, they're not the best. When they were released, they were kind of derided. And likewise, the sequels, they're not loved a lot either. Don't get me wrong, I like certain parts of the sequels as well, but they're not the most popular. So essentially, this is the Star Wars sandwich. You start with the worst, you end with the worst, but in the middle is the good stuff. So we are now aware of the problems of the other ways of watching Star Wars. You know, with the release order, it's non-linear, the jumping around can be a bit jarring, a bit confusing. With the chronological order, major plot points are ruined. Well, this is where the Machete Order comes in.
The what? The what?
Proposed in 2011 by a blogger called Rod Hilton, the Machete Order is proposed to preserve those key plot points and focus on character development and kind of overall enhance the viewing experience of Star Wars. Now, how does it work? Well, you start with A New Hope, and then you watch Empire Strikes Back. So you see the first part of the story there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to focus in on Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker and that journey there. You're going to go back and watch Attack of the Clones, then Revenge of the Sith, and you finish off by going back to the original trilogy and watching Return of the Jedi. So a couple of things. As I mentioned earlier, the key thing about this is that none of the major plot points will be spoiled for you. And the prequels now serve as character development for Anakin Skywalker in a really enriching way. However, you may have noticed one film completely left out in this Machete Order, which is The Phantom Menace. Now, Hilton proposed that it doesn't really add anything narratively to Star Wars. I mean, it's a movie that says that the first step towards a republic falling into an authoritarian regime was through the trade war. I mean, that's totally unrealistic. I mean, I would argue by skipping The Phantom Menace, you are missing out on some cool things like the Duel of Fates, pod racing, and okay, you are missing this.
Are you an angel? What?
The other thing is, because it was thought up in 2011, of course, it doesn't include the sequel movies. But, I mean, really, you watch Return of the Jedi and then you just watch 7, 8, 9. I mean, you don't have to, but you can. Three ways that you can watch the Star Wars films. Which is best is entirely up to you. Release order, by the way. It's 100% the best way to watch Star Wars for the first time is release order. Then once you've watched it, go watch it again in chronological order, timeline order, or I do recommend Machete Order. It is cool, but the first time you watch it, do it in release order. It is the best way to do it.
Oh, and just one more thing.
I've got one more order for you, and I thought about the sequels and how we can bring that in to the other movies. How can we mix it all up and get the best experience possible? So I have what I call the Machete Pro Max.
And I think you're all really going to love it.
Spoilers ahead on this one, by the way. What's going to happen is you're going to watch The Force Awakens, but you get to the end of that film and Han Solo has died. We want to know more about Han Solo, so we're going to go back and we're going to watch Solo. Okay, so you've watched Solo, we're going to go back in again, and we're going to watch The Last Jedi. But who's Luke Skywalker? Who is this mysterious Jedi Knight? So we're going to jump back, but we can't start at A New Hope. We're actually going to start with Rogue One to understand where we get to in A New Hope. We're going to watch A New Hope, we're going to watch The Empire Strikes Back, but who's this Darth Vader? Like, we need to know more about them. So now, see, it's the Machete Order. We're then going to bring in, but we're going to keep The Phantom Menace for this. We're going to watch Phantom Menace. We're going to watch Attack of the Clones. We're going to watch Revenge of the Sith. We're going to come back and watch Return of the Jedi. And we're going to see Darth Vader kill the Emperor. And then we're going to see the Emperor come back in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, look, admittedly, I have not tried watching the movies in that order yet. I was just thinking it through. So, hey, if you want to be the first one to give it a try, let me know how it goes. So there you have it. I've actually given you 4 different ways in which you can watch the Star Wars movies. Let me know in the comments which order you prefer, or maybe you've got some completely off-the-wall order of watching Star Wars. I haven't included the TV shows in here, by the way. That would just be a nightmare. Where does Caravan of Courage go, or the holiday special? We need those in the whole order, don't we? If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a like. You can subscribe to the channel as well for more geeky content around Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, and DC. I'm also working towards 1,000 subscribers on here. You help me smash my previous goal, so if you can help me get over this one, that would be really, really appreciated. I've also linked all my socials in the description below, as well as my Discord, so you can get involved with chatting about all this type of stuff and even suggest future videos for me to do. Thanks for watching.